I was driving home from the gym and I was maybe 5 minutes from home when dud, 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 dud. And my car was kind of going on to one side a bit because the tire was flat. So at first I thought that it would be just like a rock stuck in the tread, but after a while it got louder and then the car sunk a bit more. So I'm like, okay, it's obviously flat. But I was so close to my place at that time. Like literally like just down the road. Like a 2-minute drive, not even. So I slowed down, put the hazards on, and I just made it to my parking spot at my place. And the whole fucking sideline of the tire was melting and it was smoking. It was probably, if I did that in the summer, it would have probably melted off the rim. It got bad pretty fast. But anyways, I pulled the tire off. I know how to change a tire. That's pretty cool. Look at me, adult man. So I did that, tossed it in the back, put the spare on, called the appointment, got it changed. Got 2 new winter tires, got everything rotated. Wasn't too much money. Everything was fine. I think I drove over a box cutter. That's the most reasonable explanation. I don't think anyone would have did it on purpose, but you never know because there is some pretty crazy people. When I was at the gym a couple days ago, I got followed into the change room by one of the staff members. Kind of like, how, I don't know if you ever seen those movies from the 90s when like the shopkeeper follows around a kid thinking they're shoplifting. Well, I guess the guy thought I was homeless or something. It was fucking crazy. I live in a, well, I don't live in a rich place, but the gym's in a richer area, so there's a lot of Karens. You know, it's weird. People are fucking weird, man. So other than the pop tire, there was some other shit too that happened this week, but my memory's so fucked. I've been taking lion's mane, trying to make my memory not fucked. Doesn't really work much, I don't think. I think taking a mushroom herbal supplement for a few weeks isn't going to undo a decade of alcoholism starting at the age of 13. But I think the best thing is that I don't drink anymore, so that's probably undoing some of the damage slowly. Although it's too little too late because I'm sitting around whispering to myself. Hopefully this can create some passive income so I have some savings when I'm doing my labor jobs. Boo 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 boo. You gotta stay positive though. You gotta stay positive because that's the only thing you have. If you can't stay positive, you're fucked. If you listen to negative people, you become a negative person. So you need to have something positive in your life. You need some kind of light in your life. Something to look forward to. Look forward to something. Probably wrap this up in 3 or 4 minutes, I guess. I'm gonna do these videos pretty short. And if people are tuning in, then I'll make them longer. And if not, I'll either try to film some other content or stop making YouTube videos and then just take a third job, which would be fucking crazy. But then again, I could probably start my own business. And then, because I do labor and security and cleaning and stuff, so I could do my own cleaning company. Wouldn't take much. That might make some money, because if you get 5 or 6 contracts in a week, and then, I don't know, something to think about. It's pretty warm out for winter. I think that's happening everywhere now, which is nice. I actually like that quite a bit. I know people are doomsday about it, but I like it quite a bit. I don't like it when it's too cold, and I actually am quite a fan of the extreme heat in the summer. Like the places in California, and I'm sure places in the Middle East, they get to 50 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. You obviously would need a lot of liquids. You need shade, you need sunscreen, you'd need to take breaks in the shade a lot, but maybe go in the water, things like that. But I like that kind of heat, actually. Like that heat that's so fucking dry that it just fucking, I don't know. It massages your skin. It feels like a massage. There's something about it that's nice. But you can't stay out too long. You can only do like 20 minutes at a time, and then you need to jump into some cold water or something. I did a cold plunge this winter. You can check that out. It's in my shorts feed. That water was just hovering right above zero. It was almost frozen over. I think the only reason why it wasn't frozen over is because it was running relatively fast. I know it still could freeze the top and then run underneath, but it was very was like jumping into like fucking, I don't know, like a bed of needles or something. It was crazy. The adrenaline you got out of that is crazy too. I think it'll be a good spring. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. Alright, that's it for me. I'm gonna go find some shit to do. Hello everybody. I'm going to do another ASMR whisper about my day. I didn't get up to much today. It was my first day off, 3-day weekend. I did a bit of a hike, nothing crazy. I want to post a nature short of this kind of mountain. It's a hill, but it kind of merges into a mountain. When the creek levels go down after spring runoff, I'm going to cross the creek and climb the mountain. It's not steep enough where you'd need a rope and a drill and all that. It's more of mountaineering. I think I can do it just hiking up. It's very steep, but I've done things like this before. Considering maybe doing it with a GoPro and posting it to YouTube. That might be a few months away. See how much the creek dries up, how fast. Other than that, I finished that up. I came home. I'm not much of a gamer. I still have only 360 and Skyrim that's very glitchy, doesn't really run properly. And kind of what I do is I play and I listen to either like a lecture or some kind of audiobook, usually on YouTube playing, so I can kind of learn something and kind of just zone out with the game. Just kind of using Skyrim is kind of like almost like a doodle pad or like something to just fidget with, kind of focus and just kind of listen to the audiobook or whatever. So I did that. It kind of got a little bit boring. I'm kind of getting out of that now. I'm kind of wanting to be a little bit more extroverted, kind of like more active. Like I've always been active. But when spring and summer comes around and the sun's out, I cut that out. Like that's more of a wintertime thing that I do, because I'm not like a skier or anything like that. So I'm probably going to be replacing those kind of audiobook things that I do with like beach days now at this point. I didn't today because it was kind of cloudy and I did the nature hike anyways. So I did this audiobook when I was cooking a lasagna in the oven, so I had to be home anyways. No real chores needed to be done. I have to do the laundry probably tomorrow or on Sunday. I think the audiobook I listened to was Hegel or something about philosophy. I listen to philosophy audiobooks sometimes, and to be completely honest, a lot of it goes over my head. I think I retain maybe 50% of it, but not well enough to really explain or teach back to somebody. It kind of just resonates, and I kind of get it, and I'm like, that's something that's interesting, and I like to think I get something almost through osmosis, almost like it kind of gets into your head, and you kind of, in your dreams, it explains itself. Like I've learned a lot of things just kind of by being around either people who are smarter than me or tackling issues that are above my like my weight class, so to speak. And it does work to a certain degree. I think you do kind of plateau at a certain point, and you can't really sharpen up more than what you have. But I do understand these books a lot more now than I did like 6 months or a year ago. And a lot of it is I'll listen to like one of these audiobooks of like Hegel, or who else, like I was gonna say Schopenhauer, but I don't really listen to him. I tried, but he's really depressive. Foucault, I was reading a book on him, and he just turned out to be a pedophile, so I can't read him. But anyways, Freud was interesting. I read a little bit of Freud, and then I listened to a little bit of an audiobook, and then I listened to like free lectures, like posted by Yale University or whatever, kind of explaining it. So it's almost like you get like this free course now, just sitting around your house. It's kind of cool. But I've been doing it in the winter. I don't want to be doing it in the summer. I want to be listening to music. I want to be at the beach. I want to be doing like hikes. I am gonna film some nature videos. My boss at one of my jobs texted me today, said I'm doing a good job with the lawns. So double middle finger to that old guy who said I was doing a lousy job. He can go fuck himself. Like straight up, like that guy eats his mother's ass or something. Not to be with the profanity here, but he offered me more work, which is crazy. Literally crazy, because that would mean I would be working 7 days a week. And I hope I don't get this video flagged by saying all that crap. That would really suck. But if this gets taken down as just one video out of, I think I have like 1,400 videos on this channel. Most of them are just shorts, but whatever. But yeah, like 7 days a week is too much in the summer. I can probably do that in the winter. Like, if it's cloudy out, it gets dark at like 4, it's all depressive and like cold, and I can't do shit. I can work 6-7 days a week in the winter. I can commit to that. Probably. I'm not gonna say 100%, but probably I can do that. But in the spring and summer, I'm not gonna be doing that. I need at least 2 days off, hopefully 3, and then I can like chill by the creek or go to the beach or whatever. Like, you don't want to be working 7 days a week in the summer and spring. It's crazy. So I said no. He understood. He said I was doing a good job. I said like he had a vacation. I said, I hope your trip was good. I don't want to kiss his ass, but like I actually hope his vacation was good, because this boss I actually kind of like. My other boss I used to kind of like, but then he was like he's always lying about shit, like pointless shit. Like he's like a habitual liar. Like he just lies about things that like you wouldn't even lie about. Like I'm starting to question like everything he's saying, and you can't really have a relationship with somebody if they're just fucking lying about everything all the time. And it kind of builds resentments, and kind of like there's like this disconnect, and it's just awkward, and you're like completely on 2 different wavelengths, and it's because they just fabricated everything about themselves, and the work environment is all like manipulations to get different people to do different things. And then he's like leaving to do his own stuff. He's kind of like this, he's not really a leader, but I don't really resent or hate him anymore. Like I resented him for a while, kind of got over it, but it bubbles up every now and again when he tries to blame me on all this other crap. Like I posted a video the other day. He had this policy. I followed his policy, then his boss, because he's like the middle management, his boss saw it, and then he scapegoated me on his own policy. So like there's this shit that it bubbles up every now and again. But the other boss I have is actually really cool, and they pay me more than the other job. Like I get paid relatively decent at the place where I do the lawns, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, I didn't need the extra 2 days, because that would just mean I'd be working 7 days a week. I wouldn't have time to do these. I wouldn't have time to do my nature hikes. I wouldn't have time to really go to the gym. It would just be like I don't know, it'd be like, I don't know, pressure washing windows maybe at the other place. I think he was saying that was part of it or something. But anyways, it was pretty cool. I said thanks for the offer, because if they're offering you more work, that's definitely a good sign. Like, if they're trying to take hours away from you, that's obviously a very bad sign. So it just goes to show that I have a lot of haters at that job, that are kind of afraid that I've been taking either their hours away and they're kind of competitive with me, or there's like the grumpy old guy who's just grumpy because he's old, but the actual boss that like evaluates the work and owns the place and manages it is saying like, hey, you're doing a really good job. So that was good. It was a very welcome text. I was kind of wondering like, what the hell, why is he not texting me back? Because I had a question about the fertilizer, so it took him a day to get back to me, but it was all positive. I had a decent paycheck yesterday, like a decent increase, because I've been doing a little bit more at the lawn place. It's not strictly lawn, but I call it the lawn place because that's probably the lion's share of the hours in the spring and summer. So anyways, I drove around. Right now I went on a night drive and I was listening to some blues music on my YouTube algorithm. Some really good stuff, actually. I forget his name already, but it was something Blue. Like his nickname was Blue. And then I don't know what his full name was, but he had one song, it's like Who's Fooling Who? And there was such a bar in it. It's not a rap, but like there was such a bar. He was saying like, you said you were with your best friend. I know you were lying because you spent the night with me. So who's fooling who? So who's fooling who? It's funny as hell. I love shit like that. Like this kind of player blues type music. I think he must have been like a blues guy in the 80s or something. He's older now. But yeah, it was a decent day. I'm gonna unwind and watch a movie and then go to bed. I'm not really a nightlife guy. Like, this is filmed on a Friday night. I'm kind of at home doing this. I did do a bit of a drive, but like I'm not like a drinker. My dad was an alcoholic and I went through a big like alcoholic phase, and like when I'm out drinking it just dulls me and then I just keep drinking and it's not fun. I don't like to stay up too late. I'm more of a homebody at this point in my life. I did walk downtown, not so much at night. I think I did my like walk downtown maybe around like 6 or 7. That's when my boss texted me, and it was nice to see like there's some people out just eating like some street food, having like some ice cream. There's some guy selling wolf tickets. He's like, oh, what's up, homie? What's up, homie? And I just kind of laughed at him. Like, there's always people like that, and it's kind of entertaining to see people like that. I went to this park downtown. There's people playing basketball and soccer. It was kind of cool. Yeah, so it was overall a good day, but I was a little antsy all day because I couldn't really do anything. Like, it wasn't a gym day, it wasn't a work day, and some days when I don't have anything planned and I don't have any like direction or chores or anything, I get a little bit antsy. Like, I kind of like to have a task in front of me. I'm a little bit stiff when I have free time. Like, I'm kind of uncomfortable with this free time. Like, I kind of like to just be on like train tracks going in one direction to one goal. That's kind of like what I like to be at. That's my default. I like some sort of work. I like to be busy. And when I'm not busy and I'm doing my homebody stuff, I like to be reading. I like to be learning something. I do a lot of like social media scrolling, and it's a bad habit, but the social media that I do follow, it's all educational social media. It's all like, I don't want to say TED Talks necessarily, but that's kind of like, that's probably a good idea to kind of get your mind in that direction. It's like, I follow like universities and like public discourse, like columns and like little debate clubs and things like that. I mean, I follow like the typical National Geographic stuff, but they're not really posting any National Geographic stereotypical nature or tribe colonies or anything of that kind of sort anymore. They're kind of just like a BBC like thing. Like they're just posting like news or like the Guardian or whatever, and it's not the best anymore. You gotta find different avenues to kind of learn things now. I think National Geographic doesn't really teach anything anymore. At least their social media doesn't. So that's my day. Once again, I'm thinking like hopefully this doesn't get flagged or taken down because I was saying that guy eats ass or whatever, but I don't think it would get taken down. It might get flagged, like a hater might flag it or whatever, but worst case scenario, it still stays up. It just gets like age restricted, and then you have to log in to watch it or whatever. So it's not the end of the world if this does get flagged like that. But I find like the whole like censorship of YouTube thing has gotten out of hand. Like I think people should be able to say swears and speak their mind a little bit more freely. It's unfortunate like that people feel like prudish that they can't like drop F-bombs or whatever. It's a little bit excessive. Like it's always been a debate. I know when I was a kid I used to watch South Park, and they always would censor it, and then there was like this one time on Comedy Central they said, oh, we're going full out, we're not going to censor South Park anymore. It literally lasted like 2 days, and then it went back to censored, and they were so like committed to it. They had these like commercials where they were like crinkling paper on the phone, la 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 la, we're losing connection, like to the Karens on the phone complaining, and like they were like so like committed and laughing at it. We're not censoring anymore. Like literally 2 episodes full censored back, like complete 180 almost immediately for no reason. So yeah, the censorship stuff's always been around. I think we got lucky as I was gonna say YouTubers, but just like people on the internet in general. Like maybe 15 years ago, it was like the end of the Wild West of the internet, where like I remember like all those World Star hip hop websites, and like you could go and just watch like someone get the crap beat out of them, and like it was just completely like free reign. There was like all these fight websites. I don't want to be talking about like the dark web even, like, but there's always been obviously the dark web where you can watch like completely just absurd things. Like they have like the cartels like cutting people in half. I'm not talking about that. Like I'm not like a sicko that wants to watch that, but it's always been there. It's still there if you do that or into that. But I mean, like in the normal like casual browser, normal people internet, it used to be like just like F-bombs everywhere, and like people were just kind of just going off on each other, and it's kind of like the Wild West. And I really preferred that. Like, not that I was like a troll, although sometimes I would like say some inappropriate stuff or post something that was a little bit edgy, or I would go and I'd watch the fight videos on World Star, and like some of those videos were kind of crazy. Like people were like, I don't know even why they were fighting. Like it was like this whole thing, like someone would just fucking yell World Star, and then like everyone would just start beating the shit out of each other. It was fucking hilarious, but those times are gone. Which, I mean, we're more civil now, so you can't complain too hard about it. It's nice that people aren't just fucking yelling World Star on the street, and then some fucking guy in like a tank top with like fucking 30 holes on it smashes some guy in the back of the head with a brick. Like, I mean, like we've been more civilized in the last 10 years, which is nice, so I'm not completely complaining. I'm just saying, sometimes it's nice just to fucking let your hair down and just say some F-bombs or like fucking do whatever you want and just kind of just chill. And I think we're kind of too prudish now sometimes. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I don't know how it really came to that. I guess just because of that old guy that, if you want reference to that story, it's in, I don't forget which video that was. I think it was my last ramble about my day. This old guy he was staring me down, and he went out of his way just to tell me I was doing a lousy job mowing the lawns, which is completely false. I did a really good job. My boss said I did a good job. Everyone's been saying that I've been doing a good job, but he was just fucked in the head, basically, which sucks. So hopefully he finds peace, because he's at the sort of the end of his life at this point. I kind of find this bizarre that I just rolled over 20 minutes, and I didn't even work today. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't do much. So I've been talking more, but I've done less today, which is weird. You'd have expected me to be talking more on the days where I'm doing more stuff, but I guess I'm just kind of chatty right now, which is weird too, because no one's here. I'm just kind of doing this parasocial talking right now, like this independent solo cast almost type ASMR thing, which seems to be working bizarrely, because people have been requesting I do more of these, and I appreciate that. I just rolled over 7,000 subscribers on this channel, which is really cool. I hope to get more. I hope to be just breaking barriers and maybe roll over 8,000 sometime in the summer would be nice. Get into the YouTube partner program, which I was in the YouTube partner program when it was easier to get in back in like 2014 or 2015, when I was doing kind of more just reviews about like skincare products, or like the bleach test on silver. I had that video, just kind of like these old knick-knack kind of like how-to videos that I was doing at the time, and YouTube was actually paying me like for those videos. Like I was getting like $300 or $400 a month for those videos, which was really good. It's helpful to get every dollar you can, especially with the way inflation's been going on. And I think if these videos get successful and I get monetized again, and I'm making money like that, I was thinking in the back of my head today, maybe save up to do my own lawn business, buy like my own mower and my truck, and then just kind of do some like side contracting lawn mowing things, and see how far I can kind of take that. But that's just a pipe dream at this point, because this channel is doing well, but it's not bringing in money, and it's not doing that well, obviously. But yeah, if anyone wants to leave any movie recommendations in the comments, I would appreciate that, because I'm kind of at the time where I'm kind of running short on movie ideas, and I think over the last month or so I've been doing about 2 movies a week, maybe 1 a week. Usually on Friday or Saturday night I do a movie now. I haven't really watched any movies in like the past year or 2, because I've been too busy with other things, and I've been kind of more of a reader the last couple of years. I got my library card like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I've just been kind of just hitting the books. I've been buying some books on Amazon, like things like that, but I'm kind of looking to be a bit more relaxed, maybe do a couple movies, still do a book, but do this movies as well, so I can kind of just chill a bit more. I've been saying like earlier in the video, do the beach a bit more, listen to some music, maybe just vibe a little bit more, go to a coffee shop, you know. I just want to be a little bit more of a beach boy this season here. A little bit more mellow, a little bit less high strung, but it's hard for me because I do have a drive, and I see when I'm not working, I'm always trying to do like these long hikes to just kind of burn myself out. Like I always got my wheels spinning. I always want to be doing something like I'm hands-on. And that's what that hike I talked about was about. Like, it's a big incline. Like, it's gonna take probably 4 hours to do, and it's all like just grunt work going up there. But I've never been on that side. I've climbed the opposite side of the creek before, like 2 seasons ago, but that side of the creek I've never climbed, and it's a bigger climb. And I wanted to do it with my ex-girlfriend, and I wanted to do it with my dog. My ex-girlfriend's obviously my ex, and my dog passed away, so I want to do it myself. Sometimes it'd be like that. And that probably will make it even a bigger accomplishment, and it brings me back to my childhood, where I grew up rural in the country, and I was just climbing mountains all day, and drinking and smoking weed, which I don't do anymore, and I probably shouldn't have done that when I was like 14 with a developing brain. It's definitely stunted me in some ways with complete transparency in that area. Like, my short-term memory is definitely not where I want it to be, and that's kind of one of the reasons I like to read, is I like to just maintain what I have and try not to decline any more than what my teenage and pre-teenage years were, being that stoner drunk kid that was smashing bottles on the street, yelling at teachers, and carrying knives and stuff. And I don't recommend that to anyone, but when you grow up in the countryside and the whole community is kind of alcoholics, that's just kind of the culture you grow up in, and it's unfortunate, and we can do better. And I don't like seeing people pounding beers at a work site, and I don't call them out, and I don't say you can do better. I don't want to be like a prude or an asshole and then just get laughed at by all the guys at the work site, but I don't like seeing it because it dulls you. Every can is like, I don't know how many points of, like, on your IQ it'll add up to over the years, or how many brain cells it kills, but the whole buzz of alcohol or marijuana or any drug, that's your brain cells dying. That's what produces that buzz, that dopamine hit is like the death of brain cells, basically. So anyways, I think I'm gonna wrap this up now. I'm at 26 and a half. I might wrap it up around 27, 28, I don't know exactly, but I think this is my longest ASMR whisper video. I don't know how long of a retention I'm gonna get on this video. Maybe someone will fall asleep to it, I'm not sure. But I wish everyone the best day that they can have, either today or tomorrow. I think everyone needs to relax every now and again. Some people probably need to relax all the time, because there's some pretty high-strung people with blood pressure through the roof. You don't want to be working all the time. You want to take some time for yourself. If you're working all the time, you're going to break your body down. You're going to feel sick over the course of your life. You're going to just get bitter and resent things. So you need to take time for yourself. You need to light a candle every now and again. You need to just let it go. Take a bath if you need to. Do some yoga if you need to. Do some breathing exercises if you need to. Talk to somebody if you need to. But you gotta look after yourself. Like, if you had a car and it had to be a car for life, you'd want to change the oil, maintain the tire pressure, do everything. So do that to yourself as well. That's what I'm gonna leave this video at. It's just a little bit of a positive note to remind everyone to take care of yourself, stay hydrated, drink water. It's gonna get hot this summer. I don't know where you are. You could be in Antarctica. It's probably gonna be even like a couple degrees hotter in Antarctica than usual. Instead of being minus 70, it might be minus 60. I don't know. But stay hydrated. Stay in the shade if it's a drought where you're at, because summer's coming early this year. And as always, I hope everyone's having a great life. I wish everyone the best. And blessings and peace to everybody. I love you all. Thanks for showing up to this channel. Thanks for watching it. And peace out.